You're watching ABC10 Plus tonight.
Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching ABC10 Plus tonight. We're getting an update about the possible release of a sexually violent predator in Placer County. It's a case we've been following now for months. Then, leaders in San Joaquin County are moving forward with a major airport safety improvement. ABC10 Plus tonight starts right now. Well, it was a chaotic morning at the Sacramento International Airport. Multiple flights coming into SMF had to be diverted from a fog-related mechanical issue. Tonight, the FAA tells us the problem is being addressed. But as ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen found out, aviation experts believe this could possibly be related to the recent layoffs within the FAA.
We started to land, but we didn't.
Southwest Flight 2917 was supposed to be a simple work trip for Rachel Janish.
I'm from San Diego and I'm in Sacramento for a conference.
As her flight to Sacramento started its descent, Janish says the pilot notified them of a change in course.
We weren't going to be able to land because there was fog in Sacramento, so we had to divert to San Jose.
Flight Aware shows Southwest Flight 2917 departing from San Diego, heading towards Sacramento and having to make a loop to land in San Jose. That flight eventually made its way back to Sacramento.
When it gets really foggy, there's equipment that's installed right next to the runway, known as the Runway Visual Range Transomometer, that measures that visibility down to hundreds of feet.
A spokesperson at SMF tells ABC 10 a component of the instrument landing system known as the Runway Visual Range, or RVR, was temporarily unavailable, causing flight diversions because of the fog. The FAA is responsible for maintaining and operating the RVR. The FAA says this incident was caused by an animal chewing on the equipment. However, aviation professor and pilot Scott Miller believes this could be signs of a bigger issue.
There were 3 areas of the FAA that experienced a recent round of layoffs. Technical operations was one of those areas.
Miller says technical operators are usually the ones that would tend to issues relating to the RVR. The FAA wouldn't tell us if layoffs have impacted the staff at SMF, but did tell ABC 10 it continues to hire air traffic controllers, safety professionals, and mechanics, and maintains employees who perform safety critical functions.
All right, I want to go ahead and bring in Jeannie now, who has been following this. Again, I think the one thing really on people's minds, are those safety concerns, especially because we've seen a lot of incidents for various reasons, unfold just from the beginning of this year alone.
Well, Alex, Scott Miller did say that safety is not compromised, especially in the incident we saw this morning at SMF. But he believes that if layoffs continue to happen, it will just make efficiency be an issue. And in turn, that may result to less flights being offered, which will then may result to higher prices. But for now, he says, flying is still a very safe mode to travel, Alex.
All right, Jeannie, thank you so much. And with the issues at SMF this morning and recent plane crashes across the country, air safety has been top of mind for so many travelers. Leaders in San Joaquin County are moving forward with a major airport safety improvement. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has the story from Stockton.
San Joaquin County leaders describe it as
this gem out there.
And on his way to visit friends in Phoenix, T.D. Haley called it his cheat code.
I live in Sacramento and I come all the way out here just due to it's convenient, open lines, easy through TSA, and you know what, I just really enjoy it.
It's the Stockton Metropolitan Airport. And tucked behind a hangar, this is the 60-year-old tower in charge of making sure the hundreds of weekly commercial, cargo, and private flyers stay safe.
Because it's old and outdated and most likely needs to be repositioned at the airport.
According to county records, the tower's location leaves airfield blind spots, poor acoustics, and its 6-decade-old design means engine noises interferes with radio communications. There are holes in its facade leading to infestations of yellow jackets, and several glass panels on the tower are due for repairs.
Perfect. I would love a new one. That makes me feel great.
And a new one could be coming.
Working with the FAA and the Vista study, I think, is another step in the right direction to getting a possible new tower in a different location.
Days ago, Supervisor Canepa and his board approving a $187,000 partnership with the FAA to study the 3 best viable sites for a new tower.
If you don't have the FAA involved, then you can't do anything. So it's in the infancy state of at least the partnership, which hasn't been there before, to figure this out and how to fund it.
The study alone is expected to last at least a year, but flyers like TD say
It's nice and easy for me.
they won't be waiting that long to come back.
it's not the end of the day. There's only 2 flights out of here. If they can't see the open skies, then we got a real problem. But no, I'm not too worried about it.
In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
County leaders are hoping this investment, along with other recent improvements, will also attract more airlines. A third commercial weekly flight out of Stockton to Denver is set to launch in May. State officials appear to be reevaluating the conditional release of a sexually violent predator in Placer County. At a court hearing today, officials said they would file a petition to revoke the release of William Stevenson, who served a 31-year state prison sentence for sexual crimes. ABC 10's Luke Clary is in studio now with the details. Luke?
Well, Laura, today's hearing was relatively quiet. No cameras were allowed in the courtroom, but what we heard was significant in the ongoing debate over where to place a sexually violent predator after serving his time.
For more than 2 years, the California Department of State Hospitals has been looking for a place in Placer County to release sexually violent predator William Stevenson. This after Stevenson completed his prison term. But recently, the court received a letter from a DSH doctor asking to amend his opinion regarding Williamson's release. Because of that, Liberty Healthcare, the conditional release provider, said it would file a report requesting to revoke his outpatient status. It comes after years of opposition among Placer County residents.
What is your fear if Mr. Stevenson is released?
Well, that he'll do it again.
Stevenson was first arrested in 1985 for indecent exposure and then for sexual violence in 1991. He was released from custody in 2014, only to reoffend again 3 years later. Stevenson's release also opposed by the Placer County District Attorney's Office.
So this is consistent with what we have felt about Mr. Stevenson all along, but we'll have to wait and see what the reports ultimately detail in a hearing in front of the judge.
But why the change of opinion at DSH? The district attorney has his theory.
Help us understand why this might have happened.
Something occurred during the course of Mr. Stevenson's treatment that could range in what it could be. I would be speculating at this point, but it was something significant enough for the Department of State Hospitals to want to keep him within the custody of the Department of State Hospitals for further treatment.
He said his office will file a petition to revoke Stevenson's release, but it will be up to a judge to decide.
Now, I asked DSH for comment, but they told me that federal and state patient privacy laws prevent them from releasing any specific information. Meanwhile, it was revealed in court today that the property that Liberty Healthcare had identified for Stevenson's release is no longer available on the market. Stevenson's next hearing is set for March 17th. Laura?
All right, Luke Clary, keep us posted. Thank you. Tonight, a new report from the Commission on the State of Hate is highlighting rising activity across California. And the new report reveals black students are facing disproportionately higher suspension and expulsion rates compared to their white peers. ABC 10 spoke with the Commission's chair, who explains why this report matters and what one local group is trying to do about it. Hate incidents in California are increasing, with nearly 70% reported as violent offenses.
We have a problem with racism in the United States.
The report finds there's been a surge of hate crimes and incidents targeting specific communities following the attack by Hamas and the war in Gaza.
We have seen a wave of anti-Semitic attacks since the events of October 7th, and the resulting backlash also against Arab, Muslim, Palestinian, and those who are perceived to be members of those communities.
Targeted hate and discrimination doesn't just affect adults. Young people feel it too. The report shows a trend in schools. Black students are being punished more harshly than their white peers for the same behaviors.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance. High five, Stefan.
The Black Youth Leadership Project is working on the front lines to provide support and advocacy to Black students, parents, and educators.
We focus or function as educational advocates, where we go into the schools to help mitigate those issues.
And the same thing for this one.
9 times 9.
Their work is critical. The organization is a grant recipient of Stop the Hate California.
Right, you got it already.
A program funding nonprofits with boots on the ground to help stem the tide of hate.
The community that experiences the most amount of hate crimes in our state is the Black community and Black people.
According to the State of Hate report, Black male students in California are 3 times more likely to be suspended and expelled than white students.
So we're trying to do a holistic approach to really supporting our community and making sure that they know that there's somebody out here who gives a damn.
The report includes policy recommendations to combat hate, including interventions for schools.
That we invest in evidence-based school interventions and public messaging campaigns to prevent hate, in particular with young people.
And Californians can report hate incidents and hate crimes and receive free support services at cavshate.org. This resource is not affiliated with law enforcement, and you can report anonymously.
Meanwhile, here at home, the new month off to an active start. You're tracking a weather impact alert at some point this week, right?
Right, and that's going to be for the Sierra because we're getting hit again with a lot of snow for the Sierra. Not so much in the way of valley rain. We'll see some hit and miss showers, but it's not going to be the widespread activity. 48-hour snow totals, just kind of wrapping up what we saw over the weekend. Sugar Bowl, 9 inches of snow. Mammoth at 10 inches. Other areas about 5 to 6 inches of snow. So this was certainly nice to kick off the new month, kind of extending some of the skiing and snowboarding that's happening right now in the high country. And then we get into it right again for the middle of the week. Winter weather advisory in place starting Wednesday at 4 a.m. That takes us through our Thursday at 10 p.m. 4 to 14 inches more snow for the Sierra. Great again for the ski resorts. Travel impacts, though, will follow with chain controls, travel delays, and the potential for some road closures as well with the spinouts and just trying to navigate through some of those bigger issues. Satellite and radar showing the system moving in from off the coast. Right now, just a little bit of cloud cover streaming in after a sunny start to the day, although I was one of those that was caught in that lovely travel incident at Sacramento International. So it's been a long day with areas of fog, but glad everybody made it in safely. Here's a look at the timeline as we make our way through the rest of the week. Starting off on Tuesday, mostly cloudy, a hit or miss light shower possible, but really things don't start to get going until overnight Tuesday through Wednesday. And it will be more impactful for the Sierra. That's where we have our weather impact alert. So our snow level, 4,500 to 5,500 feet, drops to about 3,500 to 4,500 feet on Thursday. Another cold weather system moving our way. Friday, a nice pause between the systems as we head into our weekend. Highs for today, low to mid 60s up and down the valley, 40s and 50s in the foothills, and 40s in the Sierra after a snowy Sunday. Right now, Big Mountain Backyard, we have mostly sunny skies. Our temperatures holding in the upper 50s to low 60s. Tahoe right now cloudy and 37. Sunset not until 6:02. Nice to have that sunset after 6 o'clock. And come this weekend, we're going to see it even later after daylight saving time begins. 55 degrees for our light the beam forecast. More cloud cover moving in, but we should still be able to see the beam taking on the Mavericks for tonight. As I mentioned, the rain and snow really starting to pick up on Wednesday, and it really expands as well during the evening. Slight chance of some thunderstorms embedded in there as well for Wednesday and Thursday. Then we get under this ridge of high pressure, albeit temporarily, and it's back to an active weather pattern. So in terms of total rainfall, about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch down low, but snowfall, we're talking 6 to 12 plus inches in the high country. Be prepared for that wintry travel up there. 40s for tomorrow, though, 50s down low for the foothills. Across the coast, we're looking at highs in the 50s. Unseasonably cool weather for much of this week for the valley as well as the foothills and Sierra, where we see those temperatures hanging in the 30s Wednesday and Thursday, resulting in snow, rain for the foothills and on and off rain for the Sierra. Our extended forecast, slight chance of those thunderstorms coming in Wednesday and Thursday. Now, again, we don't have any weather impact alert days in the valley. It will be for the Sierra, and there's that spring forward on Sunday. We lose that extra hour of sleep, but we do gain a little bit more daylight deeper into the evening.
That is a plus.
I know.
Oh my gosh, it's one step closer towards spring, but it is a little rough. Not gonna lie, it's a little tricky.
It is. You're right.
Thank you, Monica.
Well, the 97th Academy Awards have come to an end.
There was everything from unexpected victories to impactful acceptance speeches. The Oscars did deliver a night of many noteworthy moments. Marcus Allen has been on the clock pretty much nonstop since he got down there. Mark, break down the key moments for us, if you would.
So many key moments to talk about. I'll get to Conan O'Brien and the highlights in a little bit. What happened before the show exceeded my expectations. Like, all the stars came down. Hard to believe that Ariana Grande was standing right here less than 24 hours ago. But oh, how deconstructed it is now. What surprised me, I got to catch up with WWE superstar Dave Bautista. I love him in everything, whether it is a James Bond movie or Guardians of the Galaxy. He had a huge last year, if you think about it. Dune Part 2, nominated for the Academy Award. He's part of that. Last Showgirl, he was a part of that. He transitioned to leading man in The Killer's Game. If you haven't seen that movie, I highly recommended it, and I talked to him about that too. Take a look. Dave, we're on live TV right now. Come on, you can't leave us hanging. Just, who are you looking forward to seeing, and congrats on everything.
Who am I looking forward to seeing?
Yeah, what would you like to see happen here tonight?
Oh man, don't put that pressure on me. I really want to see Zoe win. I love her, and I've just known her for so many years, and is so deserving. Not at all surprised because I just witnessed the talent through all these years, but I'd love to see her win an Academy Award.
I just want to tell you, we saw you in 2024 transition to leading man. I thought you crushed it. Do more of it, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too, sir. Good to see you. Such a good guy, gentle giant, and The Killer's Game is that movie I'm talking about when I say that he transitioned into leading man, because he is so very good in that. All right, speaking of leading men, I said last night for sure Timothée Chalamet was going to take Best Actor, and he didn't. It went to Adrian Brody, who, by the way, is still inside the Dolby Theater. He hasn't wrapped up that speech yet, but it's a nice one from what I understand. In the meantime, take a look at my moment with Timothée Chalamet as he came down the red carpet. I kind of accosted him. I shook his hand, and I wasn't going to let go until he answered a question, and then he kind of yanked away. I don't know if it's an incident or not, but I do have photo evidence. Like, if you take a look at this, so here's him, and if you look over there, that guy right there, that's his bodyguard, and that was the look on his face at the time. Again, we think there may be paperwork filed. I may not be coming back to the Oscars anywhere near the red carpet next year. Either way, it was a lovely moment, whether you liked his pants or not. Conan O'Brien had a great line last night. He said, Timothée Chalamet, great choice in clothing. You'll be fine riding your bicycle home tonight. Other big announcements last night. Conan O'Brien started a new feud between Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and himself. That's a thing you'll be seeing a little bit later on. I've got all my highlights on the ABC 10 Plus app. Back to you.
Mark, so many people have hosted the Oscars through the years. You know, Johnny Carson, Chris Rock, Billy Crystal. How do you think Conan stacked up? Whoopi Goldberg, how did he stack up against that group?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. When they hired Conan O'Brien, I thought, oh great, kind of a milk and cookies boy. This is going to be the blandest year ever. Au contraire, like halfway through the Oscars, he was dropping lines that he even himself said, don't worry about me. I'm lawyered up. I'm going to be just fine. One of my favorite moments, these are some of the LA firefighters I caught up with, first responders. He gave them lines last night. So if you watch the replay, and we'll have some of the highlights on the ABC 10 Plus app, you'll see some of those firefighters dropping lines that were doing almost as good of a job as Conan. But again, I thought he did great. I would not be shocked if we see him again next year. Back to you.
Okay, that is Mark S. Allen in a construction zone right now. Be careful. The guy who walked by with a ladder concerned me, because if he just could have taken Mark.
There's a lot going on there.
I met Conan O'Brien probably about 15 years ago. He was doing a tour of TV stations. And very funny. What struck me, so tall.
Oh, really?
About 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
And I was guessing he was about 150 pounds.
Huh.
I mean, he is a wiry dude.
You would never guess just seeing people on the stage at the Oscars. You know what I mean? Like, how tall people are.
Yeah, and obviously very dry sense of humor. So he did a good job last night.
Thanks so much for watching ABC 10 Plus tonight. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care. See you next time.
Trust isn't given, but earned. It's built every day by doing the hard work, putting in the hours, doing the research, holding the powerful accountable, and being there when you need us most. Working hard to earn your trust every day, every newscast, every story. Watch weeknights at 6 or stream live on ABC 10 Plus.